Hey everybody, it's Jeremy from the future, and before we get into the first ever video edition of this podcast, I want to say that the audio and video quality isn't perfect. This was a test drive for us, so you'll see some upgrades and improvements next week. But for now, we just had a fun time, and we were testing the water, and we hope you enjoy. We're back. We're doing this. And before we start, in our absence, I saw a lot of comments. People were so excited for us to come back.
Were they?
But in the positivity, there's a lot of negativity.
I see.
A lot of rumors and toxic gossip about why we were gone and people thinking that we just walked away. So I didn't really want to talk about it on the podcast, but I thought to myself, I could sing about it. There were two guys in junior high who shared a couple fandoms. Years go by and the time keeps flying. Now they're going their separate ways. They say, hey, let's make one last mark and start a podcast today. They knew they couldn't commit 100% because they've got busy lives, big dreams and ambitions, so much to do with their visions. So sometimes they have to say goodbye. And you may be thinking we got abducted by aliens, eaten by zombies, burnt to a crisp by dragons, but no, we just had to go away. But now the break is over, and they've had enough. Your favorite fat nerds are back to talk about stuff. From Marvel to Star Wars to every universe, we're here to break through the pop culture multiverse. No, we didn't already quit. The only thing we've ever quit is Fortnite Only Up. We're not quitters, we're just losers. But now we're back. In fact, we built this cool studio and now we're doing video. Thank you for supporting our brand. Yes, we're still alive. We really didn't die. Go subscribe to our Patreon.
I had no idea he was doing this, by the way. This completely random to me. It is weird, though, to say that we're back. Because, like, the people have never seen our faces IRL.
You're absolutely right.
They don't know what we look like. But this is the new studio. This is what everything looks like. Jeremy says he cleaned this place from mold, but look what's in my drink, Jeremy. Is the safety to drink?
What's in your drink?
I don't know what that is.
That might have just been in the mug. We haven't used these mugs in a while.
Yeah, this is...
They're a little dusty. Hey, we gotta start with the toast.
I don't want to, like, I feel like after a toast you have to drink. I don't want to drink.
It's okay. No, you got this. I promise you're not gonna die. Let me talk about the pain and suffering we went through to get this up. Do you think people look at our artwork and then they look at us and they're like, who are those guys?
No, I feel like these are very well... Well, they can't really see me. They can only see my upper half. Maybe if they were like, you guys like that.
That block can put on some weight. So we really wanted to do this. We started off the podcast. If you didn't know, we have episodes up on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everything in between. I think we've done 6 or 7 audio versions of the podcast, and we always said one day we were going to do this in person. So I said, hey, I have this creepy dungeon in my basement to turn into a podcast studio. So that's what we did. It was a hassle. This desk right here, this is the second desk I bought. The first one, listen, never buy a desk from Walmart. I bought a desk from Walmart that was like $160 on sale for $60. You know what's crazy? I looked at other prices. All right, it's $60 everywhere. This thing was never $160. Okay, it was a scam. All right, I got it, and I looked at the reviews. They were like, this thing's so easy to assemble. It's very comfortable. It will not fall apart. This thing was complicated to assemble. It was not comfortable, and it immediately fell apart when I put it together. So, that's on its way back to wherever it came from. There's just holes in it because it just fell apart. It broke, and that was very disappointing. But this desk is so much better. It took me about 48 hours to get it up and here, and it's only a little sturdy. So I mean, it's a lot.
It's only a little sturdy.
No, it's sturdy enough, is what I meant.
It's definitely because it's gonna fall apart on us at any moment.
It's sturdy enough.
We'll make sure not to like hit it.
What do you think's gonna? What do you think what's gonna go wrong first? Is the table gonna collapse? Are we gonna fall out of our chairs? Or is the banner going to come off the wall? Because it's being held up by duct tape currently because these are concrete walls.
This is a very interesting situation we have here.
Yeah. But anyways, this is exciting. This is the first step towards something bigger, and we are here. This is the Fragmented Zone. We're ready to break through the pop culture multiverse. Justin, are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this.
We don't have an intro yet.
Yeah, the Fragmented Zone.
Yeah, does it have to be like visual? I feel like it's weird.
Should I pull out the ukulele again and do the intro?
Yeah, here, give me the ukulele. Very good at intro. Okay. Wait.
Sounds better than I expected.
Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. Boom, boom, boom.
A copyright strike, here it comes.
And another one comes, and another one comes.
Another one bites the dust. Oh!
And we're in the Fragmented Zone.
Yeah.
One bites the dust, brown, that's it. All right. Into this episode.
We got a lot to talk about.
Whatever this is.
At least I took a lot of the spider webs down.
I still see a couple.
I took a lot of them down. I didn't say I took all of them down. There were definitely some interesting creatures in this room in the process of... I think we'll be fine, though. We won't get attacked by anything.
Y'all still don't know what's in my drink. Like, this is some disturbing footage we have. We'll get a close-up later.
You want to switch mugs?
I don't really trust drinking it yet.
I got the spider.
Yeah,
Listen, I also sprayed some chemicals in here, so maybe we shouldn't be drinking these beverages.
Honestly, yeah, we're asking what's gonna happen first. We're gonna crash before anything starts.
But if you guys want to fund our funeral, we did launch a Patreon. Justin, what does that mean?
It basically means you guys can go and support us, and we'll give you what you so desire, which is behind the scenes footage,
more of us. Yeah,
and yeah, eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to have our own mugs here, and then maybe somewhere down the line, we'll be able to send you guys a mug.
Yeah, absolutely. We know for the highest tier right now, if you become a TFZ helmsman, we are getting magnets made to send out to people. That was something we talked about, and I'm really excited for that. And of course, there's more merch on the way and more cool stuff. We have so many big goals.
Why not become a helmsman, right?
Right.
A helmsman just sounds like a cool name to be, especially a fragmented helmsman.
Yeah, I literally said, Justin, what could we call this tier? What sounds cool? And he said helmsman. I said, I love it.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Very solid.
Or we have the TFC Ultimate tier for only $10 a month. You get exclusive content, reactions, stuff like that, short form and long form. We're doing a brand new series called TFC After Hours that we're going to get up. And now that we're here doing this podcast, Patreon content is going to start rolling out. There's so many other things we want to do too. I know one of my big goals for this year was to get the Fragmented Zone website up and running before the end of the year. And I definitely want to do that. I think we're planning on doing a Discord, maybe a different way to connect with our audience. What are some of your goals for the podcast?
Honestly, I'm just hoping this year to pump out more episodes and be able to be up and current with things because in our absence, obviously we miss just so much of juicy content. Not only has this year and last year been so big, but over the span of I think 2020 kind of put a halt on everything. Before we were just getting content pumped out, and then once it came back in full action, 2021 hit us. 2022 came at us, and then now we're in 2023. We've just been getting such good content back to back, and we haven't been able to cover it as much as I feel like we should have. So now we can, because
Yeah, I agree with everything he said, except I didn't hear most of it because I was distracted by thoughts of what kind of hideous creature is inside of this mug right now.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
Um,
We can't show you what's in these mugs or the cans because we're not sponsored by them.
yeah, we might get sued.
We don't get any. There is no brand. Well, actually,
Let's just say
yeah.
it rhymes with Countin' Poo.
Counting poo.
That was the first thing that came to my head.
Why?
Well, it rhymes with it, doesn't it?
I guess. Anywho,
We have missed so much. So much.
Fragmented zone.
Yeah. I don't even know where we should begin. There's just so much. We are a week away from maybe the biggest day of the year for movie fans.
Barbenheimer or
Barbenheimer.
Oppenarmy.
Oppenharby.
Oppenharby.
Barbieheimer.
Barbenheimer.
Barbatomic Bomb. Bombi.
No.
Barbie, Oppenheimer, double feature. I will be dedicating my entire day to these two movies, and of course, we will be talking about them. But the question is, Justin, are you Team Barbie or are you Team Oppenheimer?
I'm like Team Barbie all the way. I'm excited for Oppenheimer. I'm excited to see what like everything that's with that. Like it's obviously it's just set up to be one of the best movies of the year, which is why I'm more excited for Barbie because Barbie is something. It's something like special, you know. Like it's like you know it's gonna be good, right? You know it's gonna perform, but it's just like what really is gonna happen. Okay, you kind of like you get that stereotypical thing where like the government's getting involved in business, but it just from the soundtrack to like just the stupidity, and you get like these such like serious actors to play these like stupid dumb characters like Ken, where you're just what's really about to happen, and this isn't just like a regular just run of the mill, um, like child's movie at all. Like it's literally just Barbie coming to screen and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like everything is stacked and I'm super excited to see what it is. So
the cast is crazy.
I'm Team Barbie all the way.
The set is crazy. This is Greta Gerwig being fully unleashed. Have you heard Ryan Gosling performing I'm Just Ken?
No.
You're in for a treat. I can't play it here, but I'll have to show you after we get done recording because it's amazing. I think anyone that thinks Oppenheimer is going to perform better than Barbie is stupid because that's just not how movies work. Barbie is PG-13. It's for a completely different audience, a younger audience, and it's something that I think people can take their families to and that a wider audience of people can enjoy. Oppenheimer is more of a film buff movie. It's a 3-hour long story about the dude who designed the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is going to get more critical reception, most likely, but Barbie is just going to perform way better. Are you as low as you could be on your chair? Because I feel like you look taller than me.
No, I'm not. Why would I be low on my chair? Maybe raise your chair up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Can you get up? You can't get up. I don't know why he thought that he could just sit down and try to raise his chair.
All right, I think this is better. I feel like we're more on the same level now.
Well, yeah, if I'm like...
Go back to where you were.
Anyways, like I was saying, when it came to when it came to that we first heard that these movies were going to be releasing back to back after each other, we were like, oh, that's bound to build up some tension. But I mean, realistically, we should have known Christopher Nolan's not the type to just be like, oh, screw Barbie, especially since it's Barbie. Like he's not really scared or anything like that.
Right.
But no, these actors have been supporting everything coming out around this movie. They've been going to premieres to see stuff. They've been just doing everything that they can to just support each other, but also supporting the movies because they know it's not in the same league.
Yeah.
They don't have to. They're not competing for a spot. I don't think Barbie was made with the intention to go for Oscar. I don't think they're trying to compete for that top spot. They will be nominated.
It's Greta Gerwig. She will be in the Oscar race,
but it's not like they didn't make this movie with intentions to be the filmiest, buffiest.
Right, and even though it is the craziest triple threat of all time, you have Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, followed by Barbie and Oppenheimer the next week. You have so this is the crazy trip thread, but it doesn't feel like a competition because these are filmmakers bringing people art, bringing people filmmaking, and it's something for us all to enjoy, no matter what happens or what goes down. Um, I think there is probably some tension there. I think Christopher Nolan did an interview recently where they said, "Are you going to be seeing Barbie?" And he just said no. Like that was it. That was his response. Um, but to me, the reason this is happening is because both directors, and love them both. Christopher Nolan is my favorite director of all time. Greta Gerwig seems like a truly amazing and passionate person. But it's like their egos have caused this to happen. Like they can't act like they are the victims to something. These people are like, no, do not move my movie release date. Christopher Nolan apparently really wanted Barbie to not come out with his movie, and Greta Gerwig really wanted Oppenheimer to not come out with her movie. So here's where my question is: why didn't one of them think, maybe I just move my movie out of the way, and that solves the problem?
Because then both of them move their movies, and then both of them just end up in the same spot anyway.
That would have been
Because
hilarious
they
if
wouldn't have
that
talked
happened.
with each other. They wouldn't have talked. They would have been like, all right, let's move my movie.
But they stood by it.
I guess.
Earlier in the year, there were rumors that it wasn't going to happen, but no, it is happening. We need the Barbenheimer double feature.
It's so funny because they're the only ones who like really care. Everybody else is like, I'm rooting for them.
I am ready for my mind to be blown.
Is it still in there?
No. If I die, at least we have a new podcast episode up. I think in general, it even though it's an exciting time, it's also really bittersweet going into next week because the state of Hollywood right now is really
it's not good.
It's like really terrible,
and it kind of sucks too because when you talk about like what we want to go into, it kind of just like affects our entire career. But I'm like all for it. I'm not like I'm not saying this affects our career at all, like in a bad way. Like I think when it comes to like I'm very much like pro union, like people siding together with everything because without like this kind of like unionized system, then nothing gets done, nothing happens, and it sounds like just like certain people complaining and this and that and whatnot. But I think it's good that people are finally like asking, and we've seen this like for a long time with people not getting like treated like how they should, and people not getting respected for the work that they do. But I think it's definitely about time that we see like writers getting the respect that they need, actors getting the respect that they need, just everybody, producers, and just everything in general getting what they deserve from the system. And I think it's a time that we all need to band together as like movie goers, movie enjoyers, media enjoyers, and like the actors themselves. Because at the end of the day, all these companies care about is the money that they make. Disney does not care about like Disney doesn't care about what the Marvel fans want. The head of Disney cares about how much money they can make from these, so that they're constantly just busting out these things, right? But then you get these people on individual levels, and you start to go down the ranks. You see that these people actually care about the story, but then they're getting rushed, like put out stuff, and then you get this weird combine of people not being treated correctly, people walking off, delays, not finished movies, not the best outcome that you can get. And that's kind of what like.
And it's like one of those. It's a conveyor. Like if one person steps away, the entire thing gets messed up because there are so many elements. If you aren't equally treating all of these people, then it's just not going to work. And as fans and as people, like we are on a completely different spectrum because this is something that we want to do. You want to go into filmmaking. I am an aspiring actor, and we are both so passionate about this art form. So to see that it's hanging on by a thread before we even get there is really unfortunate, especially because it seems like an easy solution when there's these billion-dollar companies like, behind these things.
Literally, you have the money. Your company's not gonna fall apart, and like even with like the stuff that they have, like their company can't. Everything they're doing is producing and producing more money. Like no matter like how far back it dates, right? My thing is, and I was making this point, just like in my head even before we got here, is that like time moves. Like the one thing that is constant in everything is that time will like come and it will go and it will move. And yes, time is money, but when you're talking about these billion-dollar companies, they have time and money to waste. Like it's just so when like the example I have for this is Infinity War.
Yeah.
Right? What year did Infinity War come out?
2018.
Yeah. Right. It's been 5 years. Okay, since Infinity War comes out, we saw Infinity War. We were like, oh my god, like how are we gonna possibly even? It ends on this huge cliffhanger, right? Everybody's crazy. You're like, how am I possibly gonna wait a year for this? How many years has it been since Endgame came out?
A couple. 4.
4 years,
4
right?
years.
And then you're like, oh my god, like where do we go now? And how many projects have we gotten in between the span of like Endgame and um, the last Secret Invasion episode? It's been like more than
A lot.
Yeah, it's literally just been crazy. So
way more than 8.
Yeah, literally. And then, so you get these like you get to span that time moved. We were literally talking about like almost 2 years ago, Spider-Man No Way Home. We were like, dude, like we were like so like ready for this movie. It's been like so long, like we've seen it, and then even with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's been like what, a month since we like literally went to go see that movie. It's crazy. Like it's like
Yeah.
time passes, time is gonna go on. So when you talk about, oh, this project is gonna take too long to come out, this project is gonna happen.
People are still gonna be there.
It's gonna happen. Like it's gonna come either way. Like if you give your people time, you're gonna get the best project that you possibly.
I mean, look at Spider-Man. You say, hey, this movie's gonna be out next year. Obviously, people want this movie to come out next year, but there's been an idea recently that it's going to get pushed, and the reception has been overwhelmingly good because all of these fans know that they will still be in those seats.
Yeah, because I mean, like think about how many years it's been since Into the Spider-Verse, and obviously Across Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse didn't end on a cliffhanger like Across the Spider-Verse did, but still, no matter what, you kind of like you still had to wait so many years knowing that there would be another movie. It's like,
and with that, you get quality. I think that's the moral of the story here: is quality over quantity. Why make people work overwhelming hours? Why are we in a world where writers don't get to see their families? VFX artists don't get to see their families because they're working for these people that are at home with their families. You know, and the production companies are the villain here. That's just the bottom line. There was an article recently of a studio exec, I don't know if you saw this, that was not named. But basically, they said that the plan with the writer strike is to just let it fade out. Those were their exact words. Wait until the writers can't pay for their houses and apartments. Their perspective is that the industry is nothing without them.
yeah,
But the reality is the industry is nothing without the people that they're mistreating.
they have no like it's so weird how these companies just think that they like. And that's why I'm saying like as like fans and as like all of the people like writers, actors, like that's why at the end of the day like we all need to like get in this circle of like supporting each other, because without the fans who watch the movie, without the writers who make the content, and without the actors who perform it for the fans, there genuinely is nothing. All right.
Yeah.
Which kind of I feel like leads us into like the whole next point is that like some of the stuff can't be replicated by AI. It's like you can try.
Yeah, and that was a big conversation with the WGA strike, and I don't even know what's going on SAG-AFTRA right now. Like on social media, they haven't really made the decision yet as of this episode whether they're going on strike. But WAG did. They've been on strike for weeks, and a big frontrunner of that was Netflix and other companies trying to use AI scripts.
And
now we have companies like Marvel
literally
jumping the gun,
just using AI, anything like just like
Yeah.
I don't even. And it's so weird because I got so indifferent about this, with like the whole Secret Invasion intro and everything. Like I was so indifferent, with like stuff because think about it. Back in the '80s, right? If somebody used AI to like create like an intro or something, they'd be like, "Oh, that's like cool. Like that's like I see what they were going with this." And like whatnot, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like I see that they were doing something different, but with the way that the climate is now, it just seems lazy. Like I don't care. I don't care how much like obviously AI. takes directing to work, right? Like you have to put certain things in perspective to get what you want out of it. But at the end of the day, like that genuinely cannot replace just what humans can do.
Right.
You tell them specifically what you want, and they can replicate that in a way and do it even better than how you want it.
And look, I'm biased sometimes. I get it. There's a lot of people online. You see people preaching about Marvel Studios or the future of DCU, and then there's the people that are like, "Why are you supporting these people? Look what's happening with the writers." I'm a huge Marvel nerd. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I'm a huge fan of these big franchises, and I want more content. Like I will be there opening night, but at the same time, am I fine with getting one new movie a year and these people getting the pay, the respect, the schedules that they deserve? Absolutely. That's how it should be. That's how it needs to be. Um, and not only are these people upset, now they're just being pushed out completely in a world where people complain about these franchises feeling robotic and formulaic. How is the response to that? Let's have let's have it actually be robotic.
Yeah, I don't. It's so odd, and honestly, like with with Marvel, I think DC has a much better sleep than Marvel does because Marvel makes all these promises because they were moving at like like a steady good pace.
Yeah.
They were on this like whole like train just going chugga chugga chugga, and then like eventually they got more steam, throw more coal in the freaking oven, and then,
now that train is the toxic gossip train.
but now it's gonna like derail because they made all these promises for certain projects. I mean, they're talking about they're telling you that they're telling you 15 projects at a time are supposed to come out with over like the span of like years, and you're like, okay, how's that gonna happen? But you trust them because they've released projects before, right? So, but now with everything going on, you're like, can this stuff even happen? Like, can they even deliver? And that's why I think it gets weird with all these promises that these studios are making. Which why I say DC's kind of in a better position because obviously they're under James Gunn, the whole idea, and I thoroughly believe that James Gunn would like give people the respect that they deserve for his projects and
because James Gunn, in terms of his style and his direction, has a very human, stylistic feel.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have to worry about that. But James Gunn is only one guy. There's still a corporation behind this. With the whole AI thing, I actually had a conversation at a convention with an artist that we've talked to a couple times. His name is Sean, and we sat for a while and we talked about this. So this is a guy that does artwork for a living. Like this drives his future. And I always love getting artist perspectives on this because I myself can't draw much of a circle, but people that are actually doing this and want to do this, I look in and I see it's not a fear, it's a frustration because they understand that this is not going to go how these companies think it's going to go. Here's a few points. Number one, AI is like human intelligence replicated. All of what AI can do comes from what humans have already done. You can't be revolutionary. You can't do something original or break down a wall with AI. Also, everything that AI can do is just going to become just as formulaic as what humans can do.
Exactly. So we're going to.
How many years does it take for people to say, "I don't want to see this anymore"?
Yeah, and these companies start making money and people just start going outside again. It's crazy too because
what are they going to do? What are they going to do then? Though, what are they going to do? Fall down at the writer's doorsteps and be like, "We need you back, please."
And then you get AI. It's so funny because like I don't care how many words you try to put in the AI, you're never going to get what you want to get. I could put the coordinates of everything I want in some picture, and AI will not spit back to me what I like truly need and desire. Like I don't care how fancy the technology is, it can't replicate what like people can do on a daily basis. It is scary. Like it is a scary thing because it's gonna take years for things to get back to like the way like where companies actually start respecting people, um, and start actually like giving people the credit they deserve. But you know that like in the end, like the culture around all of these things,
Yeah.
will be okay. Like I think it'll survive.
Because you just can't kill the human touch
You know,
of what movies and filmmaking is.
you,
I have actually a very different opinion on um, the Marvel AI situation. Now, I'm not saying this was their intention, but it is almost poetic because I think AI in the real world represents what scrolls are in the MCU. There's a certain a takeover, an invasion of of AI, of not knowing what you're looking at when you're looking at something like a piece of artwork or a story that was written. And it is kind of reflective of the scrolls in the MCU. In general, I don't want to just talk negatively about a series that I'm really enjoying. So let me ask you this. I haven't seen the new episode yet. Have you seen the new episode?
know.
Okay, so up to episode 3, what are your thoughts?
I think all of it is very like good. This doesn't feel like your typical Marvel. Like they're definitely
Yeah, not at
taking
all.
risk and whatnot. Like with just blood, the language, the music. Like this isn't your typical like shows that we've been seeing from them. So I've really been just enjoying this entire like ordeal so far, where you don't know who you can trust in this.
Yeah.
Like literally everybody around every corner is like, is this person real? Is this person not? Like, what's the whole um situation behind this? And when it came to like at first, you know, I was thinking maybe this would be like a Winter Soldier vibe. Like maybe we'll get like all of this like, you know, Hydra thing. And they talked about that in the shows itself, but I really like I feel like it's different. Like I don't know, like just the tone of this is so
Right.
serious and sinister.
It's
You're like,
darker, it's grittier,
you're like
absolutely.
Jesus Christ. And I think Gravik, like I think he is like after this show will be finished, like he will be top like
Right.
5 villains of the entire.
Because he feels like he has a very personal connection to the threat.
Yeah,
And what's
literally.
crazy is he is a completely original creation. He is not adapted from the Marvel comics.
And you think
Whoa.
like, and it's so weird too because it's like I don't even know how to describe it, but when it comes to him, he's just so like skillful with everything he does, where he seems like an actual genuine like you know you get like a Baron Zemo, like yeah, and you like you're like okay, like he has like mind power, but he can't. He's not beating nobody up. Like he is like everything with him is like intellectual. You get a character like Thanos, where like you're like okay, this all powerful dude, like it's just like wants to take over the universe and collect these stones. But with him, like this dude is genuinely like a threat. He's able to group these people together and like go behind his cause, and then he like can also handle his own. Like he's literally just going out in the field, shooting people, stabbing anybody he wants to, and just like beating people up. Like this man is like a genuine like A-level threat. Like he's an Avengers. These people haven't been calling the Avengers in for the past 3 episodes. They better come in episode 6 because they need to because
If not, I don't know how this thing's gonna go down.
yeah, because you know, like have you like seen any like I've researched the whole Super Scroll thing, before, and like these people become Super Scrolls. I don't know how this is gonna, because Secret Invasion ain't gonna stop at.
You better get the Fantastic Four out here real quick.
Because the Secret Invasion ain't stopping at Secret Invasion. It's kind of weird too because you know the director said there isn't gonna be any more big, like cameos from anybody in this show. So it's kind of I think this show will genuinely end with no resolution. I think this show will just straight up end with like.
But I think it's the perfect show for that.
It is, yeah.
You know, the writing is so good so far that the shocking moments don't feel forced. They seem to flow naturally. It's like it's the perfect show to end with some like just a big open book because we have the Marvels. Samuel L. Jackson said he wants to return as Nick Fury. I'm so glad we got to explore his story more, but it's still Samuel L. Jackson. You know, it's still Nick Fury, and I want him in these other projects, and obviously he will be at the Marvel. So I think there's already pieces in place that this story goes on. but I think I don't think I think the show will have its story, but I don't think it'll have an ending to that story. And I'm excited for that. Lots of twists and turns so far, and I think we'll have to come back next week and talk about this newest episode.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen it yet. Because it's just been a long day. We've been trying to get the podcast up and running. So we'll check that out and talk about it. Really is Nick Fury versus the world. It's crazy. This whole idea that I love the whole idea that Nick Fury was on top of the world. He brought the world the Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. He was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then the snap happened, and it got in his head that he's not enough.
And
he's not a god.
And like these people have like every right to be mad with Nick Fury, like wholeheartedly, because for him to just get up after the blip and leave, I'm not saying that at all. Like Nick Fury needed to like bring these people back together, but Nick Fury said it himself, like even when I'm out, I'm in. Like, he's claiming himself, like even now, that he's just this. He is Nick Fury, but it's like, come on, dude, like, how you just gonna leave?
Like, even though you're facing the consequences of a decision so impactful. You know what we missed? We didn't talk about. We didn't get a chance to talk about on the podcast. Well, I mean, a lot. I mean, there was some last episode we did right before we did a major comeback episode. It was a pun because we talked a lot about Jonathan Majors and how great he was as Kang, but nothing's happened with Jonathan Majors over the past few months.
No, I mean, like, it's so weird, because he's not, like, I mean, technically he did, like, I don't think we talked about it last time. He is getting replaced as Kang. Like, he's not Kang anymore, the Conqueror. They're done with him as far as that.
Yeah, no, I feel like
gone.
I feel like that's kind of what you have, and it's so crazy to me that since we did the last episode, and like the time between, that whole story has unraveled for months.
It's just so odd because he could have. It's kind of scary. Like, I don't know why I'm scared. Like, I haven't done anything wrong, right? You haven't done anything wrong, but it's the fact that, like, if we somehow even become like slightly like in the media's eyes, like, now I'm thinking, what did I do? Like, I'm kind of like scared. I'm like,
where are they watching?
The cameras are in my room.
Bro, we should have more stuff on this table because there's a lot of creaking going on. Hopefully, they come out on the mic.
Yeah,
because
my guess is fine.
I think we'll be fine. If not, oh well. We'll start this because while you're talking, I find it so hard not to be like tapping or fidgeting with this pen over here. So we're clipping that. We're gonna have good clip content for TikTok. Say something stupid.
You can't just. That's just forced. It's just forced.
But they're not gonna know.
What do you mean? Like, they're not gonna know? Like, the funniest things that I sing aren't.
You gotta come up with something right now. Say something stupid.
I'm not. I won't.
But you will.
I won't.
Not right now.
Yeah, but like it'll happen.
But I'll get you. I'll get you. No, what I was really talking about when I said we missed something huge was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It was a 5-star for me. Across the Spider-Verse. It is so crazy that like it came and went. Like, it's such a big summer that we're just moving on from Spider-Verse and going into all this. I can't keep this pen in my hands. I gotta put it down. But we just came to Spider-Verse. We experienced it. We were like, oh my god, they did cliffhanger. Like, this is crazy. And now that's the continuation of that is so far away. And now we have so much other stuff to experience. But I want to take a second, one last trip back to Across the Spider-Verse. And I want to talk about what we thought about the movie and like our experiences with Across the Spider-Verse. But while we're doing that, we have to design our own Spider-Man. Are you up for this challenge?
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
I only have one pen.
We'll just do it one at a time then.
So I'll go first. And I will design my own Spider-Man off the top of my head. I kind of forgot that we even had this idea, and now I'm talking about it, and I really didn't think about it. So let me just channel my spider senses right now. All right, Justin, talk about Spiderverse.
Do what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Do what you're gonna do.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So,
do what you're gonna do.
Okay.
When it came to Spider-Verse, it was actually really crazy. Because like leading up to this movie, I really we knew it was gonna be great. We knew it was gonna be good because like the first one is still ranked as one of the highest just like animations of all time. Just like not even being on a scale of a comic book movie, but like being on a scale of just like best animated movie and just origin kind of story and everything as far as that. But I had got so very heated, and I never got the chance to get this heated on the podcast ever because these were late night conversations.
Here's that TikTok clip
I had with Jeremy. Is just about Miguel's intentions and what he was, because seeing the trailers and leading up to the movie, it was literally so up for like grabs on what could possibly even be the problem. Like, we were like, this is literally like what possible, and I'm still flabbergasted to this day on how Miguel has just allied this entire group of spider people behind him. Like I'm talking like almost every single universe is rallying behind this man, and it's kind of crazy just to think like of what all we've seen so far. But finally getting to the movie and being able to get down to that cause overall just makes me more mad about the entire situation and what we're gonna do, because there's so many holes left open, right, with the whole canon event situation and Miguel. Today, like I went to go get me some McDonald's. All right, it's all part of my calorie deficit, by the way. I don't speak on me, people, but basically, like, did you see their like whole like their new quarter pounder? I know for some reason you have this weird obsession with quarter pounder, the Burger Boy, but like, did you see that they have like it's like bacon and jalapeno and cheese? Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that, but they don't have it here, do they?
No, they do. It's here.
They have it here?
Literally, it's at McDonald's.
Why are we not trying it on the podcast right now?
But I was like so flabbergasted because I don't think you understand how good this thing looked. Like I was sitting in there, like I had what?
The live box is moving.
What do you mean it's moving? Why is it doing that?
Hold on. I gotta. I hit my foot. I'd like to clarify. If we go missing, you know what happened to us.
Wait, I need to watch it.
Stay focused on this thing. That was crazy. I swear I had nothing. Justin was on me when we cut. He was like, "What did you do?" No, I had nothing to do with this. This is crazy. We wanted like
even the wobbly, like even with it being wobbly like that, that's not making it move one direction or not.
Like we wanted.
It's not. It's genuinely like
we wanted like a crazy podcast moment. I did not expect the headline to be 2 teenage podcasters discover their basement is haunted.
This is terrifying. Anyways,
we're back. Let me finish my creation.
We're back after a brief intermission. All right. Yeah. I feel like with Spiderverse and everything that there's still so much just to be uncovered. We see it at the end that Gwen's father is okay. Like he stopped being captain, and that he's gonna just live on. So that whole entire thing was just a question how these canon events work and what the purpose and like really what's gonna happen is, because like I was telling Jeremy, I really don't know how the second movie's gonna go, because you've seen the clips of Earth 42 Miles and like how he's just like kind of like a vigilante, and not like a bad guy, like Prowler. We've seen clips like that, and so there was no doubt in my mind that this dude isn't gonna be like completely evil. So he's just gonna be like a vigilante type who's just like helping out probably like the poor and just everything because we see like his city is like riddled with crime since there's no Spider-Man there to help. So we're probably just gonna see him help out those people and everything with his uncle. And we're probably gonna see him help out Miles in the end with like just all of this. But that still begs the question: the Spot is already a threat in and of itself that needs full attention, but then you have Miguel hunting down Miles to try to stop everything. So I for some reason I believe that like the Spot,
My chair is very like.
a part of me is under the impression that the Spot isn't gonna. What is that?
I don't know if they can see it. I'm gonna zoom in on my creation here. This
What is that?
this is my creation, Spiderspace.
Spiderspace.
Spiderspace. So, Spiderspace is an alien giraffe from Spiderspace, and basically he flies around on um, his um, best friend Harry Osborn's um, Green Goblin glider after he was killed. So that was his canon event, and then he took up the board, but it doesn't work. So he uses a little alien balloon to fly around.
So why the hell would he use the board?
Now he was rejected from the Spider Society because he's ugly. Um, so
Is there a reason why he uses the board? Since it doesn't work,
to honor his friend.
There's no other way to honor his friend than to use his.
If you died, I would take your chair and fly around with a little balloon attached to it.
I didn't ask you to do that. Anywho, like I was saying, like
Draw your spider.
I have a strong belief that the Spot he's gonna serve a problem, right? Probably up to the end, but I believe wholeheartedly that Miguel will be a serious threat inside of this like universe. I think he's gonna come after um Miles. I think if he happens to save his dad, he's gonna like put an end to that. He's like, nah. He's like, you ain't saving nobody. I'm killing your dad myself. And he kills his dad. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think his mom's gonna die.
Do you think
Somebody's gonna die?
You think his dad's gonna live?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
I think his dad's gonna live.
I think Spider-Man stories are all about consequence.
But I think his dad needs to live so it can kind of prove Miguel wrong for him to be like. I think his mom will die, and I think that'll live up enough consequence. But
I think the harder pill to swallow is the fact that Miguel was right. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's the end of the movie. I think his dad dies, and Spider-Man Miles Morales still has to stand up to Spot and prove that even though he was wrong, he's still going to fight for what he believes in. That's the way I look at it.
that would be a BS ending.
So you guys are gonna vote on who has the best spider creation. If you don't follow us on Twitter, go follow us on Twitter at TF Zone Podcast. All of our socials are behind us on this really awesome banner
that I made.
Technically, you didn't. You just made the artwork that's on the banner. You didn't like physically make the banner.
What is it? Look up what a banner is. I can see the definition.
Very well. So, anyways, it doesn't feel real that Spider-Verse actually happened. A movie that has different versions across screens in the U.S. A movie that is built up to a gigantic cliffhanger. A movie that looks so... Every shot looks so visually different than the one before. It's crazy that this movie released, honestly. But I'm happy it did. What is a banner? The definition of a banner is a long strip of cloth bearing a slogan or design. That I just turned off the iPad. This is embarrassing. A long strip of cloth bearing a slogan or design hung in a place or carried in a demonstration or procession. a heading or advertisement appearing on a web page in the form of bar, column, or box. It also means excellent and outstanding as an adjective. So, Justin, I think you are a banner co-host. I don't know, I'm trying to think about what to talk about with Spiderverse. I feel like we've had so many conversations about it, and we just haven't actually. It's hard coming on a podcast and talk about things you've already talked about, because I feel like people don't want to hear me talk about stuff that I've already talked about. But at the same time, that's like, why would they even be listening if they didn't care?
It's like back when I used to watch, like, I used to hate when a YouTuber would, like, I used to watch, like, YouTubers react to, like, stuff all the time. And you know what, the thing that let me down the most is when they would tell me that they already watched it, and then they were just like, they could sit there and continue to watch it.
No, I'm clicking off the video.
I know, literally, I would always do it. I'm like, you really think
it
I'm gonna
was a scam?
Oh, you think I'm gonna sit here? This isn't even a reaction. Like, I'm like, I was genuinely felt like scammed out or something. Like, I remember only like Dwayne and Jazz only ever did that once, and then like Dante did it when he said like he already listened to the song, and I'm like, this feels pointless.
Look, guys, I'm rocking my Spider-Punk shirt because Spider-Punk was the best part of the movie. Absolute legend. Yeah, I fell in love as soon as he said, "I don't believe in consistency," and then everything after that, he's just the goat. The goat. Really, I think all of the characters were great in the Spider-Man India, Spider-Man 2099. I actually think Justin's not on the same page as me here. I understand the division between the characters. Like, I understand where Miguel is coming from. I understand where Miles is coming from.
I never said I didn't understand where he was coming from. I know where he's coming from. I just think where he's coming from is a horrible place.
I mean, that it is a horrible place, and like I lost faith as soon as he started whispering in Bro's ear.
No,
like,
because that was
he could have ended it right there, but he took that time to go, "Nobody loves you. You're not supposed to be here. You're not even supposed to be a Spider-Man."
No, me and him would have to square up because there's no way you're getting in my ear like that.
I think speaking of which, I think there should be more fat spider people in the Spider-Verse. Phil, Christopher, Lord and Miller, if you're watching this, we want to be in the next movie. We want to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse.
We do want to. We do.
And it doesn't. We don't even have to do like any voice lines. Just put us in the background.
Let us do voice lines.
Actually, make us main characters.
Yeah.
Like, Miguel has nothing on Spider Fatty and Spider Fatty number 2. Like, I
don't know if I approve of that name.
We
become a marker.
What?
We have markers.
No, markers. You think I came prepared for this?
Yeah.
You don't get to color this.
This is your whole thing.
I forgot about it until I sat down with the notebook. All right.
You sat down with a notebook before we started this.
Shh.
What was the notebook for at the beginning?
No, I definitely think
this is Spider Star, y'all. This is Spider Star right here.
Spider Star?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like a rock star Spider-Man.
No. This Spider-Man is an actor in Hollywood.
I think after the thing started moving, I just lost it. I can't take this podcast seriously anymore.
No. This is a Spider-Man in Hollywood, right? He uses a lot of his free time just acting, and he's made 45 Spider-Man movies.
45.
People are tired of them.
So he's just become a Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in playing Spider-Man.
Yeah. He just makes his own movie. I don't know if you ever watched Legend of Korra, but it's like boring.
No, sorry. I've never watched Legend of Korra.
Embarrassing.
Your stars suck, by the way. Is the right side up? Or is it upside down? I can't tell. I can't. This camera quality sucks.
Anywho,
you guys will vote. Let us know in the comments who had the better Spidersona. Also, drop some questions for us to answer because we want the community to be a part of what we do here. We're gonna, I want you guys to decide blah, 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 I can't speak. But I want you, it's the ghost. It's like possessing me currently. But I want you guys to pick what we talk about, to give us ideas, suggestions, or any questions you may have for us to answer on the podcast. Also, if you have any feedback on how we can improve, um, right now we may be stuck in this basement, but the future, you never know what's in the future, right?
Yeah.
The future is a crazy thing.
Stay tuned because the next episode is genuinely going to be my favorite, all right? I don't want to spoil anything, all right? But it involves some hot sauce.
Oh,
It's getting serious.
And
80 McNuggets.
And in celebration of Oppenheimer, we're going to get hot and we're going to, it's going to be the bomb episode of the Fragmented Zone.
The bomb.
For the last part of this podcast, we are doing something that we like to call the confession session. So here's how this is going to work. We both have some unpopular opinions that the rest of the internet might not agree with. We are going to compare those opinions MMA style, 8 rounds. We're each going to share a hot take until the other person taps out and we win by knockout, or we go all 8 rounds and it's up to you guys. Unanimous decision. So, do you want me to go first or do you want to go first? All right, I'll start this out. I think we should. All right, Justin. It's time. Round 1. Now, I actually took notes, so because I suck at remembering the things that I want to say, but I have some good stuff. There's a lot of screams in the background. Yeah, it's fine. The coke's made its way up there. My house is a horror movie. He's never coming over here to film again. Okay. All right, I'm going to start the big one. A lot of people are going to come at me about this. Superman, don't look at me like that. Superman is the most boring mainstream superhero. And I would prefer that we never got another Superman story ever again.
Damn.
Superman Legacy, it's hard for me to get excited. We have all this cast info. We have pre-production stuff. I don't care. It's another Superman thing that DC is shoving down our throats. He's boring. He's just a dude that is invincible, and his weakness is a green rock.
Yeah, that can only be from another planet.
He's like the most boring idea of a superhero. Like, he represents hope for the people. He flies around. What do you got?
Yeah, I feel you. You gonna elaborate? That's it?
No.
All right.
I just stand by what I said.
I think Tom Holland, the best Spider-Man that we have. Hand me a remote. I think when it comes to like, I really enjoy his movies. I really enjoy the way that he acts. He brings this kind of Toby. When I sense Toby, like I watched the third movie, or no, it was the second movie. You know, he gets on the train and they're like, he's just a kid. I'm like, this man looks 30 years old to me. Do you think that's what a kid look like? If I took off his mask and I looked at Tom McGuire, I'd be like, bro, who was that?
Tom Holland feels like he embodies the teenager in Spider-Man.
I wouldn't feel like he's like a child, right? Andrew Garfield. I keep saying this. All these people are like such amazing actors, which is where the entire community of everything gets so.
It's getting heated, right?
The entirety of like every community gets so confused that all of these people have great attributes about them, and I love all of these movies like wholeheartedly. Right? Not the Amazing Spider-Mans, but I think those aren't great. But I love these actors, and I love what they bring to the role. Right? And I hate to compare these because I always talk so much to Jeremy about like people comparing these Spider-Man and stuff. But if I have to get put on blast here, like I'm gonna say what I believe that like Tom Holland, I like this nature that he has behind him. He has this like serious I really love what he brings to the table. And I love exploring him with like friends. Like him being with friends isn't really something that we've seen with the other two. Like obviously we've had Harry Osborn, but like that was the only person. When you have a character like NJ, I guess Zendaya is supposed to be his girlfriend, but you get all this other stuff with different characters And I loved Spider-Man No Way Home, like the way Flash Thompson just kind of switched up on everything, and he was just like all cool because Peter Parker was Spider-Man. I thought that was really like really
dude,
enjoyable. And so like
I totally agree.
think I'm sorry to say it, but I wholeheartedly think that he is my Spider-Man. I really love it, and you can call me MC, you know, all you want, but
I think we're on the same page, and honestly, I think people are in denial if they don't think that's the case.
sure.
So I'm gonna bounce off of that, and I'm gonna say what I had on my list. I knew you'd say something similar, but I'm gonna say this, and this one is crazy. Tobey Maguire is the worst live action Spider-Man.
Ooh,
It's not
that's
even close.
crazy. Really?
It's not even close. Now, personally, I have a soft spot for Andrew Garfield and the Amazing Spider movies. Are they not? Are they not? They're not necessarily great movies. I will say that, but they're fun movies, and I think Andrew Garfield just has a certain spark and certain style to him that really works as Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire is kind of a cringe fest as Peter Parker. Like if I had to pick out of all of the out of anyone that's ever portrayed Spider-Man in any media ever,
Heath is the worst.
except maybe Drake Bell.
That show is.
It's a good show. It's a good show. I would absolutely not pick Tobey Maguire. He'd be one of my last choices.
Really?
I think for the time, like I get it. That was like what took the superhero genre to a whole new level. But looking back, I think the casting choices are way more spot on. Tobey Maguire was just he just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. Sorry, I'll say it how it is.
That is.
What do you got?
Definitely like no. I wouldn't. I gave it December. I didn't know what to think about this.
You said Tom Holland was the best. I agree.
Yeah, but like
Andrew Garfield is a close second.
What about his
Tobey Maguire? It's like no. It's like here's Tom Holland. Here's Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire.
Think about his thing though. Let that simmer in your brain.
I love Sam Raimi's style. I love what Sam Raimi does with Spider-Man. Like I've rewatched those movies 100 times, but there's just something that isn't believable when Tobey Maguire takes up that suit. When Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield do it, I feel it. I believe it. Not Tobey. I love Tobey Maguire. I just don't think he's the best Spider-Man.
That's
not even close. Ghost, do you agree with me? Let's pull out the Ouija board that I also have in this bucket down here. Oh my god. That's terrifying. Turn the lights back up, you monster. Plot twist, he didn't turn off the lights.
Yeah, plot twist, I didn't.
Wait, no.
And I feel like I'm like putting myself. Was weird, but I think Captain America is like so overhyped. I think Captain America as a hero is on the same level as Superman.
Oh man!
You bring this dude Captain America, right? It's so crazy because, like, and I say this due to like how he's written, kind of, because Captain America should be such a bigger symbol than he is. You name a dude Captain America, I feel like the entirety of America should be like praising this man. Like, he should be our logo. Like, he should be on everything inside of the Marvel universe. And I just don't think he is.
You're talking Captain America as a whole.
I'm talking
about Steve Rogers.
I'm talking Captain America as a brand.
As a brand.
And I love Sam Wilson as Captain America. I love everything, but I believe that he needs to be bigger, and he's bland to me. He's a very bland character.
So when you look at the Avengers, like the first person you think of isn't Captain America.
It's not that. I just think he's bland.
I think
when you think of the Justice League, who do you think of first? Not
Batman.
Don't say it. Don't say
Batman.
It. It's not Batman. Don't.
I seriously do think of Batman.
Well, when you think
he's the leader of Justice League, like Captain America is to Avengers. He is a symbol of everything that the Marvel universe is.
When you think of like DC, you think of like top three. Who are you thinking of? When you think of Marvel, right? When you think of Marvel,
Marvel is not Batman.
When you think of Marvel, I don't think anybody's top 3. I don't think Captain America is anybody's top 3 when you think of Marvel. I don't think it is. He's not that iconic of a character like that.
If you guys don't know,
but like no,
Captain America is my favorite hero of all time.
Who do you think top 3 is in DC?
Batman, Superman, The Flash.
Right. Who do you think top 3 is in Marvel?
Captain America.
No, that's bias.
Absolutely.
Because nobody.
Captain America, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch.
That's your top 3.
That's my top.
I'm talking about like top 3 as in
like if I walked up to somebody in public and said name like 3 Marvel characters.
Yeah.
They would tell me Spider-Man, Iron Man, and either Deadpool or Wolverine.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think Captain America is not iconic enough. I think he needs help, and I think he's bland. This is bland as Superman.
See, but
you can't put a character. You can't.
There's so many layers to Captain America's story. And I get what you mean. Maybe he's not a front runner that people think of in Marvel, but once you are a fan of Marvel, Captain America is a very interesting character to dive into.
Like, there's a bunch of interesting characters in Marvel.
He represents what America wants to be. Haven't you ever seen that thing like Sam Wilson is what America should be?
I know.
Steve Rogers is what America wants to be.
But we're not talking about like what he is as a character. I just think that he is ultimately bland.
Okay. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. I watched Breaking Bad this year. Coming out of it, I feel like we never really had an in-depth conversation about it because we just weren't doing this podcast. And we still talk all the time. But I have a thought that I need to share with you that I never shared. Everyone says that the 5th season of Breaking Bad is one of the best seasons of TV of all time. I think that ending it with the 5th season did more damage, more harm than it did good to the show.
Really?
I think Breaking Bad needed more. Simply because at the end of season 4, you get the Gus Fring's death. Spoiler alert. You haven't seen a 10-year-old show. And then you get Walter White's empire. And all within a matter of season, everything has been being built up to happens. Walter White's empire, the rise, the problems, and the fall. All in one season. That feels like the core and the heart of what Breaking Bad is. And it all happened just like that in the last season. It feels like such a crappy way to end such a good series, pushing everything into one season. I get why they did it. But I think 6 or 7 seasons this show could have gone on for, and we could have gotten more of Walter White's empire, and it would have been great. But ultimately, I left the 5th season disappointed, because I felt like there should have been more. That should not have been the last season.
I feel you.
After the Captain America punch. He did that. No, because he did that because he knew it would affect me emotionally. But I'm going to restrain myself. So just keep going. Oops. I broke the table.
You did.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it goes back in there.
What is the hot take to that?
You know what? You come up with something, and then you hit me with a double feature. I'll go on. I'll hit you up again, and then you hit me with another double. I'll give you another opinion to back up my Breaking Bad opinion. My handy-dandy iPad right here. But what do I hit you with that's really going to make you go, whoa, that's hot? Not in like a weird romantic way, kind of hot, but like a poetic kind of hot, you know?
Anyway.
I literally can't get this thing on. Okay. The Last of Us dominated the Emmy picture today. I think 24 nominations. Such an exciting time to be a video game fan and wanting to see more video game adaptations because Last of Us killed it. Pedro Pascal deserves all the praise. In terms of Latinos being nominated for awards, no one has gotten nominated for more than Pedro Pascal, nominated for The Last of Us, SNL, multiple things in the same award show. But I'm here to spill a Last of Us opinion that I have stood by since 2019. The Last of Us Part 2 is not only better than the original, it is in the top 5 video games of all time.
That's a crazy thing to say. That's crazy. That's like a.
These Abby haters are going to be running at me with golf clubs in the streets. I heard what you said about The Last of Us Part 2. Now you're going down.
That's insane. I feel like I don't even know. Like I just to say it's better than like part one. To say it's in your top 5 is different, right? Because
my thing with The Last of Us was getting through the first season so we could see what happens in the second and third season. Like I was so ready for season 1 to be over because I know what's in store.
I guess
it's man. If you want me to explain myself, the game does such a good job at dividing the audience, making you feel anger, making you feel like aggression that you normally don't feel in video games. Like how attached people got to the division between Ellie and Abby and this war between Ellie and Abby is so beautiful, so truly impressive that they were able to not only have a great gameplay experience, but have a story experience that tears the audience apart. It's Captain America Civil War all over again. Because you see the holes in who Joel was as a person, the holes in Ellie's revenge, but you can't help but hate Abby at the same time. What it does to your mind as a player and the audience's mind, that can't be overlooked. So boom, it's my top 5 games of all time. It's better than the first. The first isn't in my top 5 games of all time. It's a fantastic game.
What's in your top 5 games of all time?
Top 5 games of all time right now. The Last of Us Part 2 is in there. This is not in any particular order. Two of my favorite games of all time are Call of Duty Black Ops 2, The Last Guardian, then you have The Last of Us Part 2, and then I will probably say Skate 3 and Left 4 Dead 2. Lots of multiplayer in there. The fact that Last of Us stands out as a multiplayer gamer, one of the greatest single player experiences of all time, says something. Do you disagree?
You asked me or the people?
They can't answer me.
You looked at them though.
What are they gonna do? Say it back?
No,
we're looking at. There's a camera right there
in the comments. Maybe.
Do you disagree? Right now, while you're watching this, go down to the comments. If you're on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music or anywhere else we are, and you're listening, what are you doing, man? It's not 2022 anymore. We're on video. We have a YouTube channel. Did that give you time to think about anything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
I think that Sonic is the best live action adaptation.
Video game adaptation.
Yeah.
Or just adaptation.
No, video game adaptation. No, video game. Yeah, it's better than the whole MCU, guys. Everything. No, I think Sonic.
The first one or the second one?
Both of them. Well, second one mostly. The first one is literally just Sonic, and you have that classic.
Does this include shows too?
Huh?
Like, are you saying that Sonic's better than The Last of Us?
Yes. I think the second one is.
Okay.
It's just okay with you.
I like how you switched the lights to blue. I just got that. That's okay with me. I really enjoy the Sonic movies, and I think what works so well about them is they're less adaptations and more just taking those characters and putting them into a new world, new story, and it's fun. Jim Carrey steals the show. So I'd say I don't necessarily agree, but I could see where you're coming from. This is like therapy. It's teaching me to manage my emotions when you say stupid things.
When I say stupid things?
Yeah. Press that button one more
Is
time.
that not white? Is that not yellow?
Press that button one more time.
This looks yellow, right?
Press the button one more time.
Why?
Hit it.
To do, whoa.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
There's that white light back. You have anything else? Have another one? With a double feature. I hate this.
I think Thanos is a highly overrated villain.
Okay, but before I make any kind of reaction, what does that mean?
I think when you take a character like Thanos, right? And sure, you put him at the end of like these movies, okay? But like I watch these movies back, and I'm like looking at like I see like I'm just like minding my business. Right, the movie ends. I'm like, wow, that was a good movie. Like, during my marathon, and then Thanos comes up, and I'm like, oh, there he is. Like it's like I rewatch something, and I'm like,
He is just kind of a guy that they say is a threat.
I rewatch something, and I'm like, cause I'm saying like right, like in the MCU, you need to stop acting like people. Like, I know the MCU, like the comics are like a thing, right? But the MCU needs to like start acting like we don't know who these people are. You want to build a character like Thanos, right? Like, I think it needs to be more done. Thanos comes in, right, in Infinity War, and I don't know. Like I think like I feel as if 2 movies wasn't justice. I think he needed 3.
But he's also the only villain that kind of got an entire movie. Infinity War is very much Thanos' movie. It's Thanos' story arc.
Is he still top 5 villains? Yes. Top 3 maybe. But he is overrated.
But you think that you just see his flaws more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I think he needed a 3rd. I think we needed more.
Personally, for me, I think I'm one of those people that praises Thanos.
I think we could have got baby Thanos.
Like, if I put a top 5, it's everyone in the top 5, and then Thanos is like above the top 5, like in a category of its own. And I don't think anyone's ever going to break that glass. So who would you say are the top 3 MCU villains?
I think right now, imagine I was just like, could you imagine I was like the Shocker was the top 3? We saw him for like 5 seconds of screen time.
Ned.
Dude, can you believe you really thought he was gonna be the Hobgoblin? Like, I'm sorry, I love you, Ned, but you were like as fat as ever in your home. Because they really thought he was coming. They really thought he lost all that weight to like be in this movie. Nah, this movie opened. That dude was still like, he was still very much round.
Spider-Man No Way Home, more like Spider-Man No Way Homie.
No, because like everybody, that was a top theory, right? Like after a while, people just accepted the fact that like, Toby and them were going to be in it. Even we did. Like we were even talking about like what all was going to happen with them in the beginning with stuff, but it was just like he was never the Hobgoblin. I think that would have been a nice twist. Would have been a nice twist. You can call that movie overrated, but it's not.
Okay. Who's actually on your list, though?
Who's actually on my list for top villains?
Top villains.
I think Zemo's also kind of overrated. Like he broke up the Avengers, but like
Zemo's in my top 3.
Yeah, I know. If you were in my top 3, I told you that. If you were in my top 3, then I think Thanos was top 3. I just think that he needs more.
So wait, so you're saying that you still don't think that Marvel villains have achieved their highest potential?
No.
Like there are going to be villains that are better. Or there can be villains.
I think there can be, yeah. I think they need to be fleshed out. I think these characters need to come from within. Like these characters need to break somebody. Like it's like it was Barry type style. Like I don't
Thanos
know.
broke me.
No, you don't understand, right? Like you never watched them. Like you never. I don't know if like Barry. Like you never like.
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne is the craziest villain of all time, right? Because like,
in what? What is that? Who is
the
that?
Flash, the Reverse Flash.
Oh, that's his name?
Yeah.
What does he say his name was?
Eobard Thawne.
Eobard? Eobard?
Yeah, Eobard Thawne.
Like Bart Simpson, but
Eobard. Look it up.
Yeah, Bart.
Thawne.
Reverse Flash. All right, keep talking about Reverse Flash while I'm looking this up. I'm not a Flash fan. I have no interest in any of the CW shows. They look like a dumpster fire. Can that count as a devastating opinion?
I guess. I mean, it's not really.
Edward Thawne.
Look, right? I'm telling you, this man. Look, he delivered one of the best. Like literally, okay. Eberthon is already crazy enough, right? But in like the CW shows, like he obviously he follows the main storyline. He goes back, he kills Barry's mother. We legitimately, I tell you, we never get an answer, right? We never get like, well, we do get an answer because he hates him. Like that's his entire reason for why he did what he did is because he wanted to be better than the Flash. So he went back and killed his mother, hoping that he would not come to fruition because he genuinely hates him. Like that was his entire reason. Like Barry kept asking him, he was like, "Why have you done all this?" Because he hates him, right? He quite literally made his own speed force, this negative speed force, right? In which is fueled out of hatred that you can only tap into. He could Barry after a while got
That's
to
like a different level of a hate.
Barry after a while got to the point where he can sense people in the speed force. Like he could sense like different speeds that can sense people when they're going through the speed force. Because that's like the point in which people go back in time, right? Like he saw that in the new Flash. That he created a whole other speed force so that like he could like just like not be detected, right? But then also this man had levels to the things that he did, right? There was a villain after a while that was introduced that was like he used this like spear that like kind of took away people's powers.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that. After a while, we learned that Ebarthon is in jail in the future, and they use that dagger as a way of like keeping him locked up. So He uses Barry's daughter from the future to go back and help them figure out how to destroy the dagger so that he can get out of jail to go back and try to kill this man. He is a hater, and that's where
that's like a different level.
That's where I kind of say that like there is going to be a villain because the thing is my entire.
But this had like 9 seasons.
Yeah, but I'm saying right. My entire thing is that villains. I'm tired. Like freaking. Star Lord said it himself in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like we don't need to hear some sobby backstory from you. Like we genuinely don't need to hear it. You just need to be a bad. Like I just need you to be a bad person because you hate somebody.
And you're
so
saying
much.
that Eobard Thawne
Yeah,
is that guy.
I think I think that man is fueled out of hatred. When like your entire reason for doing something is just because you hate them, and it's not because of some alternative motive where you stole somebody's girl or because like Thanos' whole thing is that his planet got destroyed and he saw that like there was just too much and he needed to like cut that shit in half. He was like this can't go on. Like I'm helping everybody in the universe. I'm the Almighty. He in and of himself felt like a good guy, right? And that's most villains. Most villains think what they're doing is righteous and mighty. Barthon didn't think that. This man knew what he was doing was bad. This man knew that he was a menace to society. He did not care.
With everything with the Flash recently and going into James Gunn's DCU, do you think we'll ever get a movie version of the Reverse Flash and Flash rivalry?
I hope we do because that is genuinely one of the most interesting stories I think. Like between those two, like he literally just rivals him, and the whole Dark Flash story is like that just comes fueled out of like because it's the same in every adaptation. Is that like he went back in time? And, well, how it was done because it's kind of like Savitar in the Flash CW. The Flash makes the Flash during a race goes back in time, grabs a double of himself, comes back to the future. That double gets left behind.
You could just do an entire Flash podcast.
Yeah,
I could just sit here and listen to you
devil,
talk about
like, he comes behind, and then he becomes like the Savitar, the god of speed.
God of Speed.
And seeks out to destroy Barry because he kind of like ruined his life.
I was the God of Speed once. Make sure the mic is still on. That'd be bad if like the mic went out. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with something. There are no rules here. Okay, I've shared pop culture opinions. I'm gonna say something. You gotta look me in the eyes right now.
Okay.
If this doesn't break you, I don't know what will. The best way to prepare pizza rolls is in the microwave.
I'm done fighting about this. I'm done fighting about it. If you believe that, you believe that. But that's just a crazy statement to make because it's different, right? I understand being lazy. I understand it. Most people are just lazy, so they put it in the microwave instead of the oven. That's understandable. You know, you're lazy. You don't feel like making it. But to say that it's a better way, that's crazy.
Now, if you were smart for your next one, you could say something that's really just gonna fuel this food conversation.
That's because.
But I don't know if you want to put that out there.
I will put it out because you know it's just it's crazy to me that you for some reason like somehow like all of you are crazy. I don't know what world you live in. I hope God judges you. I hope God has a list. Actually, I hope he doesn't have a list.
He puts his milk first.
I've done something. I do.
He puts his milk first. When he pours a bowl of cereal, it's a 2-step process. And you know what step he does first? The wrong one. He does the wrong step first. It's like a 50-50 shot. He doesn't do the right step. He puts the milk.
He doesn't do the right step. Do you want to preface how it's not the right step?
No.
No, you do because you don't have to.
But you know they're on my side here. You know you're a psychopath.
No, because
there's nothing you can do.
You're
just a psychopath. That's psychopathic material. I will continue eating my pizza rolls in the microwave. Unless you stop eating your cereal milk first.
You know
what's crazy? I don't even eat cereal. I'm just deeply offended by the fact that you do that.
It's just so crazy to me because like what you do changes the flavors, and I don't care nearly as much as you do about me pour my milk.
All right, I'm trying to cut tired of this whole thing. I'm gonna say one more. You give me one more. We'll let the audience decide who had the hottest takes this episode. I'm gonna say this. I think it's a perfect time to say this. There are 2 actors in Hollywood who I think are more like overrated than anybody else. I think they get too much praise for the roles they step into, and they just really have not gripped me with any performance. Those 2 people are Timothée Chalamet and Ryan Gosling. They are bland actors. I feel bad saying it, but realistically, they have not hooked me. Like, both of them seem like cool people. Like, I'd love to sit down and have a slice of pizza with them. But their movies don't sell me. I will never go see a movie for Timothée Chalamet. I'll never go see a movie for Ryan Gosling. You feel me?
I do feel you.
Okay. And that's with a banger.
I don't. To be completely honest with you, I don't think I've yet watched a movie that has starred Timothée Chalamet.
Dune?
I haven't watched Dune.
You haven't watched Dune?
No. And I don't plan on watching Dune 2, and I don't plan on watching Dune 3.
Yeah, apparently there is going to be a Dune 3, even though the book's only 2 parts.
I don't plan on watching it either.
You won't even watch it for Zendaya?
Huh?
You won't even watch it for Zendaya?
No, because Zendaya got blue eyes in that. They ain't Zendaya. I don't know who that one is.
The dudes from Fortnite?
Zendaya is like baby girl. My last favorite take, I think the PS4 was better than the PS5.
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I am joking.
That's crazy.
Yo, I gotta think of like a crazy one. I gotta think of like a baby. It hit home.
While you're thinking of that, I will say, one thing I wanted to do during this podcast, there's been a trend with the Grimace shakes. Justin refused.
Ooh, you got me into a whole.
He refused to take part.
I need that now because before we even get into this topic, I really need to live in my last because this topic.
We're going off the rails.
This topic will go on forever.
Say something that's gonna get you canceled. I want to be the one that people like on this podcast.
No, I do think Marvel. I do think Marvel like the TV shows are like not that good.
I think that takes us back to the quality over quantity thing.
I think they're low tier.
I think they just try to push them out.
Like if anybody I rewatch so much stuff every year. I rewatch like certain shows. And I rewatch like I have yet to watch. I haven't watched WandaVision in over a year.
I just think it's an excuse for them to do less with a story. To be lazy.
I can't. But it's crazy though because you get the length of 2 movies.
That's true.
And you don't like it's just nuts to me. They're like low tier. I guess that's just my final take.
What's your favorite Disney Plus show? Because I think I have a pretty hot one.
What's the let's say Rami Malek. That's not Rami Malek.
Oscar Isaac?
No.
Moon Knight?
No. What's the guy who's like, you know what I'm saying?
Elvis?
No, not Elvis. Why can't I remember his name?
What are you talking about?
The guy who's like,
what kind of Disney Plus shows have you been watching?
You know, he was I can't even like think of like what he's in to tell you.
Do the impression.
He's like, I really like those shoes, yeah, I like those shoes. He's like, he's like, it's just like you know, like it's like
what?
I can't remember his name. Dude, what is like what's his name?
What are you talking about?
Do you remember the grand guy in Thor Ragnarok?
Oh, the collector.
Yeah, no, not the collector.
Oh, not the collector, the Grand Master.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. Yes, Jeff Goldblum. I like his show.
Oh yeah, The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I'm not rating any of the Marvel TV shows.
No, mine is a Marvel TV show. I think the best show that Disney Plus has to offer is She-Hulk.
That he won because that's crazy. That's what he won because that's a crazy.
She-Hulk is #1.
That's a crazy.
Yes, I'll take that. Now I figured we should give you the open mic to end us off this week. We talked about a lot here, but why? What's your problem with Grimace, man?
Let's start out with the fact that I don't have any problem with Grimace. I love Grimace. I said this multiple times. Grimace is the homie. Like I'm rocking hard with Grimace. I hate the Grimace trend because they really making my boy seem like he's a bad dude, right? You know whose real problem this is? Uncle O'Grimacy.
Not right? Uncle O'Grimacy.
We felt.
I'm gonna pull up a picture of
Jeremy doesn't even know. Jeremy doesn't even know this because I haven't even told him. Uncle O'Grimacy is not canon.
What?
Like, he's not canon anymore. Uncle O'Grimacy was a real thing to promote the entire Shamrock Shake.
He was too dangerous that McDonald's had to erase him from their own canon?
They made McDonald's World. Okay? McDonald's World was the thing that existed. Okay? I want you guys to like be able to see this, so I'm gonna switch this back to normal lighting. But right?
Let me pull up this photo.
McDonald's World. Okay. That's Uncle O'Grimacy right there.
That is Uncle O'Grimacy.
McDonald's World was a real ass thing, right? Okay, so you know the McDonald's brothers, they got cheated out of their whole company. Yeah. This dude took over, and after he took over, he was like, "Look, came up with all these crazy characters." Yeah, he was like, "Look, we gotta." Like, he was like, "I'm hopping on this whole train of like making these characters and stuff like that, right?" You know, stuff down the line happens. Here comes McDonald's World. Okay, McDonald's World introduced us to a whole slew of characters. Like almost every meal, if it didn't end and this wasn't like the late 2000s, like I can't even say it's late 2000s, but like if it wasn't like now, every character, like every single meal or sandwich there would have a character. Like they would have a character to it. Even the fillet of fish had its own little fish mask.
What?
Yeah, it was weird. Right, but the reason is because they got sued. You know by who? You know whose fault this is? Disney.
Of course.
They're literally the root of all of this. They made McDonald's World, right? Now I don't understand the full thing, right? But they basically got sued out of their minds.
It all comes down to Disney.
Okay, and basically, like they just couldn't. They couldn't produce McDonald's World, which kind of went like away with like a lot of their characters, right? You know, they still have like they still have that chicken. They still have Grimace. They still have Ronald McDonald.
What is the chicken's name?
I forgot. It's like Early Bird. It's like Early Bird. Birdie. It's like Birdie. It's like Birdie. But yeah, and basically, Uncle Grimacy is not canon because it can't be because they would get sued again if they tried to do that. Now, realistically,
crazy?
they could probably McDonald's could probably come back.
If you were green, you
That
kind of look like
doesn't look
you.
anything like me.
Come on,
Anyways,
guys, like
basically the thing is, right, is that I don't drink. I believe that McDonald's is partnering with the government. Whatever thing they're putting inside these shakes, I don't trust it, and I won't drink them. I didn't drink the Shamrock Shake. I didn't drink the Grimace Shake. You know Grimace? Grimace used to be a bad guy. I'm dead serious. This is lore accurate. He used to be a bad person. His whole entire thing was stealing milkshakes. He had multiple arms.
but now they have the Hamburglar to do that.
He used to just come up to you and steal your milkshake.
You know what's crazy? When I was little, so we used to have parades in the area, and they would bring the Ronald McDonald's crew. Like the characters would be in parades, and really, it was because the Grimace suit was so big that the person couldn't see out of it. So he would have two guys holding his arm so he could walk straight. I used to think that was security, and I was terrified. Like, what happens if they let him go? Is he going to come after all the little kids in the audience?
Grimace is no joke.
My whole life, I thought it was canon that Grimace was a beast. No, he was going to eat you.
No, originally he was. That man used to just come to people and straight up just steal their shakes. Like that was his whole entire thing was stealing people's shakes. And after a while,
it's about Reverse Flash. Grimace was the real.
Then after a while, they started pushing this marketing that like Grimace is a good guy and he has no bad bone in his body. And then he started wanting people to enjoy shakes. He is, you know what he is? He's the physical embodiment of like a taste bud.
But now McDonald's is forcing him to retire.
Yeah, they give him this.
What are they trying to hide?
They give him a birthday, and then they kind of just boot him off the light.
What if I told you I got you something? Not like you, but I figured we could add it to our collector's table as
what is it?
An artifact to represent our first episode back.
Okay. But you know how much these go for on eBay? These things go for a lot of money.
We have the four-eyed Grimace to go back here in our little wrestling ring. This thing hasn't moved in a while.
I'll get into this more on the next episode because this is not over with. I will come at you with full diagnosed and just full complete upfrontness about Grimace, Uncle Grimacy, McDonald's World, everything. And it won't
Calm down.
Be the end.
Calm down.
This will not end until McDonald's comes forward with what they're really doing.
Listen, guys, bear with us. We're not pros. We don't know what we're doing. This is just our first episode in person. We have so many exciting things planned. We don't know what's in store for the future, but we know what we want to do with the future. Okay? So bear with us. If you want to support us, check out the link tree in the description below. You can support us on Patreon, follow us on Twitter. We have plenty of extra content up on TikTok, including clips from this podcast, future episodes, and some bonus stuff as well. Like I said, a lot of stuff on the way. We have a lot to talk about this year. Next week, we're getting even more heated than ever before.
Stay tuned.
Those of you that are a fan of a certain YouTube show. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate any support you throw our way. We're really serious about this. We're ready to commit. This is like our brainchild, our baby. And we're watching it grow into something so much greater. So, like I said, any questions, comments, drop them below. Please go leave us a 5-star review on every single platform. Just go spam those stars on anywhere you get your podcasts. And next week, stay tuned. Anything else you want to say? No? Okay, dude. Okay. Woo!
Wait, it's about to do something. Oh no, it didn't.